Bing. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in studio this morning is Connie Miller with DeWitt Savings Bank. Good to see you, Connie. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, Seth.
Good to hear. Thanks for coming out and talking with us. Always good to have you in. And what's a conversation with you, Connie, if we're not talking about scams and what you're seeing at the bank and what folks are running into lately?
Yeah. Well, I wanted to talk a little bit today about travel scams. Um, our family were victims of a couple. One of them I caught and thankfully was not a victim, but I thought it would be a good thing to let people know about because spring break's coming up. People are starting to book things for the summer. So I thought maybe we'd go through a few things.
Yeah, let's do it. Sure. What do you have?
Well, talking about like hotels and booking a place to stay. This happened to us. We booked on a website. I don't remember if it was Expedia or hotels.com, something like that. We got to the hotel and they said they didn't have our reservation. And the girl said this has been happening quite frequently. And it was a big site, like I'm pretty sure it's hotels.com. I'm not 100% sure. But we ended up having to pay for another room because we were there. We had nowhere else to go. But we never got our money back. So she said the way the process works is they're supposed to send the money to the individual hotel and they never do. It happens more often than you realize.
Really?
And so you don't have a reservation when you get there.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Because I mean, those are one, they're big advertisers on like major networks and stuff, and you would think that like because of that they would have some assurances and things like that
and the business model I know, like for Priceline, is they reserve a certain block of rooms all over America, and that's so they're theirs to sell. So I'm not really sure why that's changed or how that's worked, but we got burned. So luckily it was just 2 nights. It wasn't a big deal. But going back to talking about using those brokers like the hotels.com and stuff like that. I had an experience too that I'm grateful that I booked through the company's website.
Sure.
It was Choice Hotels. And at the time I had a Choice Hotels reward card. That's why I was doing it. And we were doing like a college road trip tour to go visit colleges with my teens. And we were I think we went from Wisconsin to Iowa maybe. And I booked an Econo Lodge and it had all these good reviews. I'm like, well, it's an Econo Lodge, but it's got great reviews. Let's just try it out. Save $40 staying there. And we pull in at night, gravel parking lot, no lights, crusty, gross looking place. And my kids are in the car and they're like, we're not going in there. So I call the 800 number for Choice Hotels. And the person said, you know what, because you booked through us, you didn't book through another site, we can move you. And he said, there's a brand new hotel a couple miles down the expressway. Why don't you try that one? And we did. It was gorgeous. They honored the price even. And we got a great deal.
So what did you learn in those 2 experiences that you want to pass on to folks?
I would say it's okay to look at those aggregators, those websites to see what hotels are around the area. But when you're going to book, I would consider booking on the actual company's website, not one of those aggregators.
Yeah, for sure. Sure. Yeah. And I don't know what you travel more than I do, so your experience is much more vast than mine. But when I am looking through those websites and I come across, their price versus the actual hotel website, the price is not that substantially different, if I'm being honest.
It usually isn't, or it's the same.
It's the same, yes, 100%.
And sometimes they offer where you don't have to pay first, too. You can book it, and then you can wait up to 24 hours before you go to the hotel, because who knows, someone might get sick in your family and you can't go. So when you book on a Priceline, you're sort of sunk. You're not going to get your money back.
Right.
But going along with this, too, there's been people nowadays with AI, they can make fake websites really easily. So you have to be really careful that you are on the proper website.
Right.
Like American Airlines is literally AA.com.
Mm-hmm.
But people don't know that. They might go to a fake one that says AmericanAirlines.com when they're searching, because scammers are now putting, they're paying for Google ads. And then their American Airlines site, fake site, will show up first and not the official website. And theirs will say official website and all that on it too.
Yeah.
We had that.
Another reason for me not to click on those sponsored ads on Google. So thank you for that.
Exactly. So like Hilton.com versus HiltonHotels.com,
Sure.
you know, something like that. So nowadays it's even harder than ever to figure out where you really need to go.
Okay. So how do you know? I mean, how do you know? I don't know.
That's a good question. So usually if you Google like, you know, Hilton Hotels and then keep looking, you'll see a bunch of like ads or things for the official site, and that will tip you off that that's the right site.
Got it. Very good. So be aware of those travel scams. And I tell you what, with that, Connie, I mean, I know we were talking off the air, you know, trying to figure out how to tie in, you know, with tax season here and all this extra money people are running into. We were talking about, you know, what do people do with that income that they run into with these tax credits? You said generally buy cars, but I could also see people booking vacations. I mean, that's kind of what we're doing, if I'm being honest. So how about that?
Yeah. Some people do use their tax refunds for vacation. First of all, I want to caveat that with that when you have a big refund, you're giving the government money tax-free for a year, right? So if you can get your refund as close to zero as possible, you're pretty much giving yourself a raise. So you have more money during the month to pay your bills and save.
So you're saying don't defer those dollars and get that lump sum at the end of the year.
Right. And I think I've mentioned this before. I had this past November, we finally got a tax refund from 2020.
Okay.
From 2020. The IRS kept sending me a letter saying, your check is on the way. Your check is on the way every 6 months. So we never got the check.
Okay.
And they finally sent it November of 2025
is
when we got it. So that could happen to you too.
Okay.
If you're withholding a lot of money on your paychecks, more than you need to, and you're getting a big refund, a lot of people think, oh, I want this big refund. Well, that money there is sitting at the government, and you are not earning any interest on it. Sometimes you might be incurring more debt when you could be paying off your credit card debt if you were giving them less per month. So the most financial advisors will tell you the goal is to be as close as to zero at not having a refund as possible, so you can keep that money for yourself.
Oh, okay.
So like, to give you an example, I was working with a gal and she was all excited because she got $3,600 this year for a refund, and she was going to use it for a trip for her and her daughter. And but she had credit card debt. And we talked about this. I said, if you change your withholding for next year, that's $300 more per month you're giving yourself in your budget. And then you won't need a credit to use your credit card, right? So that's why it's helpful to not have a big refund. Now, some people will, because maybe they have an earned income tax credit or some kind of tax credit that has nothing to do with what they're withholding.
I see. Interesting. Connie Miller, DeWitt Savings Bank, our guest in studio for this morning. I didn't mean to divert us from the topic of scams, Connie. What else do you know about scams, or what else have you seen?
Good ones, and they're disturbing. So a lot of people do VRBO, the Verbo, or Airbnb. And right now, people are because of AI, this is really becoming more prevalent, but you think you're renting from the owner, you go on, you book something, but actually someone has taken their ad and their pictures and made it their own. So you're actually renting from a scammer. And then and it could be from the actual Verbo site, or they could go and see a house that's for sale on realtor.com or something like that. They take all the pictures, they make an ad, you pay them money. And then when you get there, you can't get in, or you get in and it's someone's house. Like, there was a story I found on YouTube, because someone was telling me about this. They went around the house and went inside the house because one of the doors was open. They couldn't find the key, and they went in the house, and the neighbor was like, they're supposed to be on vacation. Why is someone there?
Yeah.
And called the guy and
Yeah.
then end up calling the police
Yeah.
on these people.
Can I tell you one that
Yeah.
I heard this on a podcast the other day, actually. It was a NASCAR driver. Obviously they travel a lot, right? And whenever they travel away from their home base of Charlotte, they always book Vrbo.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how he had booked a Vrbo for him and his family. They had a newborn and all this stuff. And they had all these packages sent for like the baby to this Vrbo. And they get there and someone is there already. And they were like, basically, like they had to sort out, was the house actually booked by this guy? Was it booked by the people that were already there? He said it was a nightmare to sort through. And Vrbo would not do anything for either of them. It was crazy. It was it was one of the craziest stories I've ever heard.
Wow. Yeah. It's the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
So when you're they say to ask questions, make sure you have contact with the owner.
I've contacted the owner many times on
yes,
those. Yeah.
And make sure there's a legit person.
Mhm.
I mean, it's still hard because they could be lying to you regardless. So it's still a hard thing. So people are moving away from Vrbo and Airbnb though, because the fees that they add to their costs. I mean, now they disclose them more prevalently, but people are like, forget it. I'm just going to get a hotel.
How are you if you can't trust a hotel site, if you can't trust Vrbo, how are you supposed to travel, Connie?
That's a great question. And nowadays too, talking about that, people say, well, get an RV. I don't know if you've read, the RV industries has consolidated.
Oh, really?
And there's like 3 major manufacturers and they pretty much just mass produce junk now. So people's RVs that they're post 2017
really
are garbage.
Oh my.
Like just literally falling apart. The welds aren't working on the frames, everything. So
you know
really
what?
Just stay home.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. My motto of like, I don't want to go anywhere and do anything on the weekends or Friday nights. I'm sticking to it. I'm not going anywhere anymore, Connie. You've convinced me. Just stay home. I love it. Very good. Well, I'll tell you what, there's a lot more to talk about with this topic. If folks want to talk to you about whether it's their budget, if they want to inquire about maybe a scam attempt they've encountered and they want to know if it's legit, how do they get a hold of you, Connie?
You can call the bank. I'm at DeWitt Savings Bank. Our number there, the main number is 217-935-9470. You can contact me, Connie, or someone from our deposit team can help you as well. Just remember that sometimes if you give permission, it may not be considered fraud. And we'll talk a little bit about that one.
Let's do that. Very good. Connie Miller, DeWitt Savings Bank, my guest in studio this morning. More to come with Connie on the WHOW Morning Show.
WHOW.
Hi, I'm Brandy Alsop. For the past 7 years, including 2.5 years as Chief Deputy County Clerk, I've proudly served the citizens of DeWitt County. I've worked on the front lines of our elections, served as the tax administrator, and managed your vital records. I understand the weight of this office, and accuracy and professionalism are essential. As your clerk and recorder, I will be a working clerk. I'm committed to protecting election integrity, improving customer service, and using your tax dollars responsibly. I'm ready to get to work for you. I'd appreciate your vote on March 17th.
Paid for by Brandy Alsop.
Hey, it's Shane from Highway 51 Exchange, your mower and equipment service pros just south of Clinton. Click our banner ad on DeWittDailyNews.com or give us a call to schedule your free pickup and delivery today. Highway 51 Exchange.
Longview Community Bank is now open in Clinton, investing in rural Illinois. I'm Vice President Nate Sams. Stop by for a visit or to find out how we provide real local banking. Click our banner ad at the top of the local news page on DeWittDailyNews.com.
The Illinois Emergency Management Agency has designated WHOW's many platforms on AM and FM, as well as WEZC 95.9 FM, as standby radio stations for emergency messages to be sent for severe weather, as well as for the Clinton Power Station. We also have a direct link to the National Weather Service for watches or warnings to air immediately when they're issued. Keep yourself and your family safe by tuning into the WHOW platforms on AM, FM, or streamed online, as well as on WEZC 95.9 FM.
DeWitt County's #1 source for local news is on the air and online 24 hours a day. The latest local news stories are heard every hour on Central Illinois' news station, the Big 1520 AM and 92.3 FM WHOW. Stream live at DeWittDailyNews.com. They're also heard every hour on the station that's your easy choice, 95.9 FM WEZC. And to read the latest local news on your electronic device, including tablets, iPhones, and smartphones, go to DeWittDailyNews.com. DeWitt County's #1 source for local news is on the air, online 24 hours a day.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in studio today is Connie Miller with DeWitt Savings Bank, here to scare everybody out of traveling ever again. Connie, we were talking in the break. I told you I booked a Verbo for a trip we're taking later this year, and now I'm like, is this even real? Can I trust that I booked a legit place?
And you brought up a good point. Something I would tell all your listeners is look at the reviews. They should have legit reviews from years, that you can page through, and they look honest, look for details in them and make sure they're legitimate reviews. I hate to tell you this, but I avoid any new listings. If there's not a bunch of reviews on it, I won't even look at it.
But what if it was like just built a new listing?
Right.
Like I can't even trust that.
I wouldn't. Sorry.
You know what I'm going to do, Connie? I'm just packing up the dog. I'm going to throw a tent on the top of the car and I'll just backpack it. I'll just the heck with it.
In the future, I would not do that because you have no track record of whether or not they're good hosts, if the place is really there.
Yeah.
All of that. That's why I always check. I even sort by reviews, like dates available, how many beds we need, and then reviews and read the reviews. And because there's sometimes you might book a place, like we went to Gatlinburg and it was not my favorite place, but it was sort of not my style. Like I was like, oh, I don't know if I like the decor in it, but it got really good reviews and it was in a nice location. So we ended up booking it anyway.
Connie, you're just making me feel like I've fallen into a scam. I was so excited about this trip and now I'm like,
sure it's fine.
No, you're not sure it's fine. You're like, do this and this and this. All right, we got to get back to the topic at hand, more scams.
Okay. I have another one.
Yes.
This one is really disturbing and I want people to know about it because it happened to me. And I don't even understand how they knew. It was the morning of my flight. And I don't even remember where I was going, but the morning of my flight, I get a text and it says that my flight's been canceled. And it's like, how can it be canceled? It's really nice out. I don't see why it would be canceled. So I went on my app, the airline app, and it said it was on time. And so then I checked on FlightAware. It's like a website. You can see which flights are going where. And I'm like, it looks like it's coming to the Peoria airport. So I think I'm fine. But then I did a little Googling to find out more information. And there are scammers who somehow know what you're booked. They must have some way to dive into the reservation systems for these airlines.
They've hacked the airline system.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I also got an email too. And it said that my flight was canceled. So these people are texting or emailing saying your flight's canceled, call this number, we'll rebook. I did not do that. Other people have done this. They call the number, it's a fake, it's not real, and they rebook you and they charge you for this rebooking because most people do economy where there's no changes, blah, blah, blah. And usually if the flight's canceled, they're going to change it for you and get you on a different flight. But these people will say, oh, well, it's your responsibility to pay the upgrade or, the change fees or whatever. And then they will send you an email and you have to approve it to rebook.
Right.
Well, you are giving permission for them to charge your credit card. Even though it's fraud, the credit card company says you gave them permission and they will not take away the charges for that.
Yeah. You basically verified it for them.
Yes. And so there was a fellow who did that. His family was going to Europe and he spent $17,000 rebooking tickets for his large family.
Brutal.
He looked really rich, but still, I was like, that's
He
horrible.
could absorb it.
Yeah, but that's just horrible. So if that happens to you, go on your app or go on the official website and verify.
Oh, Connie,
Yeah, sorry about that.
you are just bringing in the scaries today. I tell
do.
you.
I have a couple other scary ones that this one's sort of like.
By the way, I've got a minute and a half. So go ahead. Yeah.
So when you go to the airport, you know how they have those little ports where you can put your phone in and you can charge your phone?
They're mining data.
Yes.
No way.
And I saw this video this guy did, and he had someone do that, and he showed how quick and easy it was to put something in to those little ports. And then he had this news reporter put his phone in it, and in like 30 seconds, he knew his wife's name, his wife's phone number, every email he's ever made through that phone, all of his texts. He had his bank account and routing number and his password in like 30 seconds. So don't use those.
Oh my.
And they say if you're going to use something, you know how there's just an outlet on the wall, you can put your charger thing in there, like the old school plug, not the USB, or you can do those banks, the the charger banks for yourself. Now some people are like, but how do we know? We ordered that on Amazon. Is it legit or is it like got stuff? We don't know. Yeah. I just wanted to make your day today.
Wow. I'm not charging my phone ever again. I'm not traveling ever again. I'm not using credit cards. Connie, you've basically turned me into
a hermit.
Yeah. How do folks call you at DeWitt Savings Bank, Connie?
It's 217-935-9470. If they have any questions on this, they can definitely call.
Sure, very good. I'm not sure you're going to be getting a lot of calls these days, Connie, but at any rate, we appreciate you making time for us. Connie Miller, DeWitt Savings Bank, our guest in studio. Network news on the way.